What's the thing that you're convinced people only pretend to like/enjoy? The idea of Christmas carolers is kinda fun. The reality of having it happen when you open the door is horrifying. People singing happy birthday to you on your birthday. I don't know what I've been told. Someone here is getting old. Apostrophe. Surfing social media for hours every day. There is no way you can claim to be perfectly satisfied and happy with looking at videos and photos for hours with nothing to show for it in the end. Even a nap would have been time better spent, as at least you are rested after that. One day it suddenly dawned on me that, while I claimed to have no time to do what I wanted to do, that was not the case at all. I had plenty of time. The problem was that I was wasting it staring at a screen. I didn't actually want to do that. It was just easier than making the effort to get up and do what I actually wanted to do. I was too depressed and tired to do anything else. Once I realized that, I made an active effort to be more aware of how I was spending my time. It's nice to take like 10 to 15 minutes to catch up. Any more than that, and I firmly believe it becomes a symptom of depression/anxiety/loneliness/lack of purpose. As someone who does that, it's honestly an addiction. I hate Facebook. I really do. Too many toxic asshole friends. I've tried deleting it. I really have, but I found myself reinstalling it within 2 days. Because I needed to. Not sure why it was a need to do so. Same here. I abandoned Facebook years ago. Then my apartment complex installed some fancy new thermostat that you can control with your phone. Well, it turns out you have to log into Facebook to log into the app. WTF! Exclamation mark. Why do I need a Facebook account to control my own goddamn thermostat? Other celebrities lives. It's understandable if they stand for the same cause/s as you, or if you are related to them, but in mid-30s and still don't get the point of ducking paparazzi. I don't really give a shit what new restaurant Taylor Swift is eating at, or which celebrities are getting married/divorced, or literally anything tied to the name Kardashian. Also, duck Amber Heard. Getting pregnant. Those whole 9 months are horrible. Just read a little and I'm horrified of all that could go wrong. And there are people saying they'd do it again like those 9 months were nothing. Yeah, bullshit. Raising kids. I don't mean the emotional/social/intangible results of doing so. I mean the literal day-to-day nuts and bolts of child rearing. This is probably super hit and miss. I look after my sister's kids sometimes. They're 3 and 6. Some days it's utter cancer and I can't wait for my sister to pick them up. Other days, they're the best kids and I actually have a lot of fun playing with them. I'm glad they're not my kids and I can return them eventually, but it's not all terrible. My dad advised me to skip straight to grandchildren as you can return them at the end of the day. Classic British literature. I can appreciate their weight and commentary, but the vast majority of the canon is so boring and dense. Also, not classic British literature, the book Infinite Jest. Back when I was in jail, long story, I requested that my parents send me a copy of Infinite Jest because I'd read somewhere that it was one of the best novels ever written. And also that it was very, very long. I wanted something good and long to read to get my head out of where I was. So my parents kindly obliged and they sent a copy and I absolutely hated it. You know a book is bad when you can't even enjoy it in jail. Since my release, and after reading several analyses of the book, I've attempted rereads a few times. At this point, I'm happy to say that Infinite Jest is absolutely not my cup of tea. Is that the tennis one? I had the same experience, minus the jail part, and couldn't finish it. Everybody say it with me now. Me. Getting in a bath with water so hot that their skin turns red and almost blisters. You mean you like being tormented in boiling human juices? When I was younger I used to self-harm. And I don't know how I found this out. But when I would get into the shower and turn the water up really hot, the heat on my skin, it would take away the itch/urge to self-harm. This has ended in a habit of me turning my water up really hot to stand in it for a bit just before I get out, because the association in my brain between hot water equals no urge to hurt myself makes me feel better and curb some of my other self-destructive tendencies. Sometimes I feel this way about getting drunk. Whenever I drink too much, I feel like shit to be honest. And I know it's a depressant, but I mean I feel physically like shit too. My stomach gets queasy, even if I'm not gonna throw up, and my head gets dizzy. Whenever I get drunk, I feel full of regret. Like I don't wanna be drunk anymore. And then I do it again next weekend. Being a little drunk, and with the right company can be fun, but getting too drunk is not fun. Honestly, I'm kind of in the same camp, in that I don't actually enjoy being drunk very much. I mainly just do it because it makes it easier for me to socialize. I'm very anxious usually. Also kind of feels like a safety blanket, because if I accidentally say the wrong thing I can just be like I was really drunk. Having a large friend group. Dear god, that shit is like a 24/7 round of StarCraft. Constantly managing the fragile emotions and the sticky messy web of relationships, platonic and otherwise. I feel obligated to say this as one of few people who still play StarCraft. StarCraft is great, exhilarating and fun. Exactly the same idea might apply to lore friend groups. Mumble rap and auto-tune singing. Not like Zapp and Roger auto-tune, but I can't sing auto-tune. I think it's mostly because rap instrumentals are catchy and danceable, but neither the producers nor the audience want to concern themselves with lyrics. Rappers just need to sound as if they have a sense of flow, rhythm, and lyrical agility. The words and their meaning are just a distraction. That's not to say that there isn't incredible rap music being released these days. It really feels like a period for the genre which is showing both the worst and the best of what it has to offer. Fast food with peppers so hot that they are flushed while eating it and inevitably end up with volcano shits 3 hours later. Yep, you damn man. And no, you can't use my bathroom. Jobs. I don't mean their job. I mean literally any job. I mean, why would anyone wish to indent 40 hours of every single week for most of your life just to make someone above you rich while they pay you just enough to not have to live under a bridge? Fuck that. Edit. Reading comprehension ain't what is used to be. In no way did I say jobs aren't necessary. Of course they are. The question was about liking or enjoying it. People wrap their self-worth up in their careers, and you can't deny that. So they have to say to themselves, oh, what I do is important for society and I derive my enjoyment and self-worth from that. For some jobs that's absolutely true, but we all know the vast majority of jobs are just cog-busy work to keep consumerism running to make the wealthy more wealthy. You can never be employed again and still have plenty of self-purpose and enjoyment. That's all I'm saying. My thoughts every single day. Yes, I absolutely need something to do, otherwise I'll go crazy. But I have hobbies and the world to explore and friends and family I want to spend way more time with. Exactly. There is an entire world of stuff to do. You can make it just fine in life without a boss giving you a task. You can come up with your own agenda and activities. Many of the big literature books are quite boring or unreadable. Same can be said for many Oscar-winning films. I used to belong to the crowd that reads and watches those kind of things and came to the conclusion that it's nonsense. I honestly wonder how many people that call Gone with the Wind the best movie have ever actually sat down and watched it. It's long. It feels like it is the best simply by force of existence for so long. Lots of books are similar, but watching baseball, it's so boring to me. Might be because I'm not much of a baseball fan, but the few times I have watched it, I felt like the grass was more interesting than the actual game. And they go on forever, and it's played in the summer. People sit in the 100 heat for hours to watch this shit. Fishing. I've done it about 10 times and I always feel like I'm being punished for something. Every time someone defends it, they tell me it's an excuse to drink with your friends. I get that it's subterfuge for alcoholics, but that doesn't make it a fun activity. I went fishing once with my grandpa when I was about 7 or 8, and it was absolutely boring until something grabbed my hook. Then it was absolutely exhilarating. Feeling something fight against my attempt at reeling it in. I was so excited to see what it was that I caught. Whatever it was big. Grandpa had to help me pull it up out of the river, and it turned out it was a waterlogged hunk of an old screen door. I haven't been fishing since then. Being at work. Most people are so terrified of losing their jobs they pretend they like their jobs. As for the others that actually like their jobs, it's almost always because their personal lives are shit and anything is better than that. Those common male haircuts on US politicians, doctors, lawyers, and all the other I radiate conservatism and professionalism or I will get fired folk. I refuse to believe that it's actually something individuals aesthetically like. I practically subscribe to the theory that they look so dull and bland because in that world they assume that a male is gay if it as much as puts any imagination into its appearance, which would lead to immediately being fired. I've never seen any comment ever say gee, I really like Bill Clinton's haircut. I've seen essays written about individuals saying how much they like John Romero's haircut and that hair is also bland as duck. But they say they like it for no other reason than that it's not a lawyer cut, like how Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for not being Bush. Camping. It's so uncomfortable and I never sleep well. I love the outdoors just as much as the next guy, but why not just rent a cabin if you can afford it? Maybe that's the kicker. If it's the only way to vacation, if you are on a budget, if you can afford lodging, why not do so? Edit. This has gotten a lot of attention. It appears most of you disagree with me, and that is okay. Each is their own. I still despise camping. I like sleeping outside. It's just a nice feeling of it being really cold out, but you're all safe in your sleeping bag. And sleeping in a cabin is not nearly the same as sleeping in a tent. Overlined lips. It's a big trend to make them look bigger, but it's obvious and stupid looking. My big conspiracy theory is lipstick brands started it, so we'd wear more, and thus buy more, and people started doing so, because that's what they were doing to the professional models. Polygamy and polyamory. I believe that one of the people is always sacrificing something that makes them uncomfortable, and will lead to unhappiness and breakups 90% of the time. I can't understand the appeal of that whatsoever. One husband is enough work as is. Fancy restaurant food. Literally can't taste the difference between $40 spaghetti and the stuff made from Woolworth's groceries. Plus, I'd take fried chicken and chips over honey glazed pheasant any day. I've had fresh pasta before, and there is a difference. Country music. Come on. You've got better taste than that. Surely. Edit. Mostly referring to modern country. Classic country is a different horse. Music is a hard one to lump in here, because people really do love all types of music. Also, the experience of seeing any type of music performed live, even if it's not your brand, is a lot of fun. I'm not a country fan either, but I can appreciate there is a time and a place. I would also love to see it live with a Bud Light in hand. I'm also not a fan of mumble rap, but that shit is huge. Same with K-pop. Same with Bollywood music. You have death metal, jazz, pop, dubstep, funk, reggae, R&B, rock, all different. Each one loved by someone. Music is music. That's a very fair assessment. You've brought a great point. Too. Music means and matters to people very differently. But one thing's certain, we need music in our lives. Silent bars / nightclubs where they give everyone headphones. It's fucking stupid. It's really tough to dance with someone when you can't talk to them at all and you're dancing to different songs. If I wanted to get drunk and listen to my music, I'd just do it at home with my nicer headphones that I don't have to pay to use, that aren't covered in sweat. I went to one that had 3 different stations with separate DJs. It was great. If I wasn't feeling a song, you switch. Plus the headphones change color according to station, so you could know what someone else was listening to and switch to it. When I wanted to talk, I didn't have to scream over music. As a Mexican American, Capi Rottada. As a Southerner, I sure do enjoy some bread pudding. So shouldn't I? As a Mexican American Southerner, like Capi Rottada, I absolutely do not like it. At least not the way my abuelita, God rest her soul, used to make it. Soggy bread, bloated rehydrated raisins, and cheddar cheese? Guacala. When someone with a disability tries to do something they are clearly not good at. I watched a video from TikTok where a girl with some disability was singing so awful. The video got a lot of likes. Commenters saying OMG, you sing beautiful, and more commenters like that. I mean, it's not bad. I prefer people to say that instead of making hate commentaries. But it's the cruel truth. Lettuce. It's just weird crunchy leaves that taste like nothing. Lettuce is just crunchy water. I think that's kind of the point. Though, it's not so much about the flavor of it, but the mouthfeel. Take lettuce. When put in a BLT, it serves as a cool, crisp counterbalance to the bacon. The beach. It's a hellhole. You show up, probably can't find a parking spot anywhere close. Carry all your crap to the beach from the faraway land you left your vehicle, just to start scanning the crowd of big people in small bathing suits for a spot on the packed beach. Once you get settled in, you suffer through the heat of the sun and scalding sand until it's unbearable. So you venture to the water, but the water is freezing, and not to mention it also has sharks. You stay in there as long as you can, or until your testicles hit your chest. Then get out to have your entire body greeted by sand, like you're some cheap craft project. This process repeats until you're either too chafed, sunburnt, or salty that you just give up on life for the day. And it always ends in you going home and taking a shower to scrub the experience away like a bad hookup. If you love the beach, you've been sufficiently groomed by society. Don't at me. Coca-Cola. I understand how globally popular they are, but I'm not crazy. The example I'm referencing is my Mexican wife. Coca-Cola has spent decades flooding that country with Coca-Cola. They manufacture it there, send it to every store and street vendor possible, hand out tons of branded freebies, and advertise a wild amount. They have campaigned to make it seem as if Coca-Cola is a part of the culture of Mexico. Like in the US, you can't have Thanksgiving without turkey, Independence Day without fireworks, or a birthday without cake and candles. In Mexico, Coca-Cola has convinced most of their people that Coke is a part of their culture and affects their well-being. You can't have a party without Coke. You need a drink after a hard day's work. Coke. Been walking aimlessly through the desert, on the brink of death, and finally come across an ice chest with Coke and bottled water? You know the obvious choice. It's Coke. I have witnessed my wife on several occasions change her choice of drink from / fill in the blank to Coke because she just realized her family had showed up and was looking at her. She has praised the superior taste of Pepsi on multiple occasions because she didn't know I had poured it into her cup instead of Coke. When she was told about it later, she strongly denied it. Coca-Cola is used to clean auto parts, so drinking it is really weird. I hate the taste and would rather have tap water. Pepsi, Drive, Pepper, even RC is better than Coke. The taste of beer. Imagine if there was an experimental beer flavor of potato chips. No one would actually enjoy them. The only reason people grow to enjoy the taste is because it associates directly with being drunk. Modern art. I'm sure the first person who did it was very important and now Bardi wanted to tell him it was shit. I love postmodern and abstract art. I find the portraits and landscapes of classic art to be pretty but hollow. Eschewing beauty is way more interesting. Pushing limits in art and music keeps us from another 500 years of Mona Lisa and fruit baskets. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.